Hello everybody, it's patch day 2. I have tried most of the things that there is in this patch, and a lot of them I have already completed. This is only like a 23-day patch, so I wouldn't expect it to be any otherwise. Well, I did complete the story and I did all the mini games that I could do up until today. So I'm still waiting for like a couple level unlocks. I still have a couple of side quests remaining, but I feel like I have a good enough grasp on what this patch is in order to give you a review. So I'm gonna start from the nice things, and the nice things are kind of like the meat of the patch, and then the gripes that I have are like the kind of things around it, slash like AFK activities, the kind of things that the whole patch doesn't center on, but are part of the patch. So, first of all, we are currently sitting in the new area, and I can also stand up and run around. This is just like a holiday thing. I imagine that the portal to this place will disappear once the patch is done, and I'm just using this as a backdrop to talk about the story. So, I had fairly bad hopes when it came to this patch, because I remember 1.6, and that was a very childish patch. I remember 1.4, which was like a Feywish Sprite celebration, and it felt like it overstayed its welcome, like it wasn't really engaging. When Info does like a sugar plum fairy candy fluff fairy tale themed patches, I assume that they're not gonna be for me, and that then I'm probably gonna be fairly disappointed in them. Plus, patch 2.1, which was another filler patch, was fairly disappointing for me. Well, I can say that this one really isn't so. Like, it's deceptively sweet. The set dressing is deceptively sweet. And then the story... Let me just switch on a different window for a second with this lovely little drawing. Touches upon expectations forced on idols, the unhealthy and uncomfortable culture of people worship, body image issues, especially with trying to force people to slim down past what is healthy, body shaming, which was something that I entirely did not expect. Like, this is such a sweet set dressing patch, and then the moment you come in, the first thing that happens is Nikki gets body shamed. And I love this image. No, you're way too skinny. This is her smallest bow, yet you do not fit. And it's like the reverse of what's happening, because most of the time, like, you come in and there's like mushrooms and they're like, wow, you're so fat? You're so fat and ugly. Like, you should be 1/5 the size of us, and you're not. Like, what the fuck, human? Try and get into some exercise programs. And then they talk about idol schedules and how they're not allowed to eat, how they can only eat sponsored food, which is another very interesting thing, and how the sponsored food is bad quality and really bad for you, but they still have to eat it because of the whole expectation that popularity places upon you, and the disappointment of failure and not living up to impossible standards. This is like the themes that the patch explores, and they're so in your face the moment you come in. They're like, it's not like a side theme. It's not like a little thing on the side. It's so in your face the moment you come in. I did not expect that, but it's very fitting for an Infinity Nikki story. Because Infinity Nikki advertises itself as a cozy game, but this whole series, like Love Nikki, Shining Nikki, Infinity Nikki, they tend to be set in fairly grim apocalypse settings, but you don't tend to see it because of the glamour and shine that's presented on top of it. So for a sugar cake, a sugar plum, a sweet, a rosy, a pink patch to explore eating disorders forced upon other people by fame, conformity, and eating disorders amongst the fans of idols, and how people propagate this circle by enforcing it upon each other, for it to explore these themes. It's like such an Infinity Nikki thing to do. It's the whiplash of coming into the Feywish sprite place and then realizing that they were holding prisoners for like 15 years. So I really enjoyed the main story of the patch. Let's start there. Another thing that I enjoyed was actually the minigames, because the minigames felt a lot more Infinity Nikki than Infinity Nikki tries some very grindy management simulators like Hot Pot and the Raise a Behemoth thing was. And when I say this is a lot more Infinity Nikki, I'm used to like Infinity Nikki having these like tiny little gameplay thingies that you exhaust pretty fast and then they kind of go away, and this patch is running on that schedule. So how about we're gonna like meet each other on one of those so that I have something more to show you than my Nikki sitting on a chair? Okay, this one will do. Like, there's 3 different mini games, but this one will do, and I imagine I'm gonna complete it very, very fast. It's just change the colors of mushrooms as this line is moving in order to score some points, in order for you then to get your reward once you reach the right point mark, hopefully before the time runs out. And you also have like rainbow shoots, which allow you to change any of them into like a rainbow thing, so rainbow thing matches with absolutely any version of them. So this is like not a hard mini game at all. As you can see, I can like quickly complete it, but this is like the kind of things that I come to expect from Infinity Nikki, aka something that's just like easy and sort of fun and like quickly rewards you diamonds, not something that, you know, is a full-on management sim. I appreciate that. It feels like we're going back to our roots with this one. I am gonna like showcase another one in a second just because like we can, but I am very engaged right now. There have been like loads of these and they're all like pretty small. And the next stage unlocks tomorrow. If you have played the whole thing in Itzalan, this will be very familiar to you, except that you have a way to turn the whole stage with this one. And honestly, with this level, I'm not entirely... Okay, I fit, never mind. I was kind of worried about this. The purple bits in this level, they don't quite turn as much as the pink bits do. So... Oh, alrighty, I see. If I force myself down here a little bit, and then I turn, I shouldn't fall off. And I should be able to get this dessert. I appreciate this. This is a fairly... I don't know, can I call it simple? It is sort of simple, right? But like... not too simple, I guess? Ooh, this one is one that you can freely pass through. Got it. Alright. Oof. How do I even... See? It makes me think with my brain head. But the point that I was gonna make is that I like these minigames. Now you're solid, how do you work? Explain yourself! Okay, it's solid in some points, but not in others. And it restarts me here, fair enough. So anyway, the point that I was gonna make is that I like the minigames this time around. They're not really... intrusive. You don't have anything to grind severely. They're kind of like a tiny little bit of fun. Alright, let's start with things that I don't like about this patch. The first thing would be the actual patch length. I think 23 days is a bit fast, especially for a patch that's not permanent, that's gonna be completely gone from the game. I kind of feel rushed to do things in it. It also doesn't feel like there's a lot of time to save crystals or to, you know, get pulls or to even think about what you're pulling, especially considering that there's 2 4-star reruns happening, and presumably on the second half of the patch we're gonna have a 5-star rerun. And honestly, the second half of the patch is only like 10 days into the patch, pretty much, because the patch is that short. I think 28 days is a much better length for a patch, even for a short one. I understand adding extra days to patches that are lengthier or that need a 2-parter, but to have like a 3-week patch that's completely temporary, like, it's hard to keep up. Like, FOMO is hitting dead on towards absolutely everybody, so like, I think we should stick to like 28-day patches as like the shortest patch version. I think that would be fine. Thank you. The second thing that I don't like is, on behalf of absolutely everybody that has pulled the deer outfit, it's shitty that deer loses its transformation the moment it's hit. It cannot jump even, let alone fly, and then the next month Infold puts out a unicorn that can both jump and fly and function as a proper mount, and that you don't get dismounted if you're fired in the stage upon by enemies, that you can use a bow on. There's a lot of unhappiness happening, not because unicorn is a bad thing by itself, but the fact that Infold effectively made the outfit that they released just a month prior be a lot shittier, and it is unlikely that they're gonna fix the outfit that they released just a month prior when the outfit that came afterwards, the unicorn, is superior to it in every single way. It kind of feels like deer outfit was nerfed on purpose to make the unicorn look better. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying that this is how it can be perceived. So on behalf of absolutely everyone that got the deer outfit, I will say that I don't appreciate this and that I think this is a pretty shitty thing to do. My third complaint is how they replaced tiered purchases. I'm happy that tiered purchases got replaced, but this isn't it. Because for one thing, the UI is dog crap. It doesn't explain anything. A lot of people are like, what? You couldn't understand the system? Can't you read? But like, to understand the system, you have to leave the game and go read about it and like the news posts about it getting introduced. Nothing in here is explained properly. And they probably did this on purpose. So for anyone that doesn't understand, to get Heart Beam Gift 1, which just has this special pair of socks, you have to buy this pack, and then you also have to buy this pack. So £3 just for the socks. And if you buy this pack equivalent anywhere else on this store, I'm trying to remember where the packs are sold here. For one thing, their first pack on this thing is actually Revelation Glimmer Pack 2 and not 1. Because if you go to Treasure, Resonance Pack 1 would have 1 pull and it would cost half of the next one, and this one would have 2 pulls, so it's like the equivalent of Uncrowned Resonance Pack 2 for £1. But if you bought the Uncrowned Resonance Pack 2 for £1, it wouldn't count for the system. You have to buy from this window. That's the first place where people have fallen down. Secondly, a lot of people thought that they can just buy this one and they will get the socks, and that's not how it works. You have to buy this one, and then you also have to buy this one. Like, you have to buy both packs with the gifts in between. So that makes it £3 for the socks. If the socks is the only thing that you're buying. If you want to buy the unicorn horn and like all of these nice things, like the emote and the handheld, that's £2 plus £5. That's £7 just for this tier. Of course, if you already bought the £3 socks, it will only cost you £5. Like, it's a little bit of a discount. But if you're just going for this tier, this is flat out £7. I don't like the UI because it's very unclear what's happening in here, so a lot of people made purchases on the accident. I don't like the fact that these things kind of mimic the things in the featured, so some people just went to the featured and bought from there and then realized that it's not counting for this thing. I don't like that nothing is explained about this, and I also don't like how expensive everything is. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of tiered purchases, but I'm definitely also not a fan of this. And the last bit that I'm not a fan of is run two businesses thingy. This is quite a few of a menu clicks as well, but if I click on to build onto the land, one of the things is like another player's building once. I think you have to be playing co-op and be in somebody else's world to do this, because correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't find any way to do this, and because I don't really play co-op with other people, it's not like liking an hourglass that's in the world. Because I don't play co-op with other people, I'm gonna miss out on what I assume is like 2 revelation crystals. This whole system is practically entirely AFK. You just set it going and then like you collect from the stores like you would collect passively from Hotpot, and then you would upgrade the building. But one of the places where it falls is this set thing. Crafting and placing these is a bit cumbersome. Like, I now need to remember what's on here. Because if I click the crafting table, okay, they're actually now pinning it to the surface, so at least that's nice. But it used to be that you would click the crafting table and nothing would happen, so like you would need to figure out where shit is yourself. But it is kind of worse if you just kind of have some of the set. Like, I have one plain wood double layer table, but it's already placed. So if I would go into crafting, it's now pinning weird stuff. Please stop pinning weird stuff. Thank you. But if I would go into... You're still pinning weird... Okay. Never mind the pinning. Okay? Let's ignore the pinning for now. So something is pinned in here. It's not the thing that I'm currently looking at, so we'll just have to make do. This is a very convoluted system. What do I need? I need plain wood double layer table and square melon basket. Is it even on here? What? That's the square melon basket. But where's the plain table? Is it you? It is you. So, as you can see, it shows that I don't have any melon baskets, but it shows that I have one table. But here's the thing, it is already placed. So one of the things that you can do is you just accelerate, you collect this, and then you click back and you click place. And because I'm on the wrong preset, it can't figure out how to do that. Great. Where were we? Huh? Huh? Am I even in the right place for this?
What a lovely
Place?
sunny day.
There we go.
Let's check out what the shroomlings are doing.
I can then, like, I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna place this. I'm gonna pretend that I'm saving. And why did you work? Why did you work? I don't actually have a free table. This is all sorts of bugged. Normally it tells you that your table, which... This is the table that it's trying to pull from, okay? This is the... It just copied my table. No. Normally when you do this, what happens is that it will tell you that you don't actually have the decoration. What I'm trying to say is it's hard to figure out what to craft from the crafting things in order to make the sets that you need to make in order to then unlock the ability to upgrade the building first, because it requires some of the sets, but also to activate some schemes you also need some of the like different sets. So I can activate this one, but I couldn't activate this one because I don't have the set attached to it. If I click, it's this set that I would need to then place in order to place. It's so convoluted. It's what I'm trying to say. It's so convoluted. And when you upgrade these things, that's how you get the rewards. And some of the rewards are just for like upgrading other things. Other rewards are just legitimately like diamonds and pulls. So you want to do this. I don't like how convoluted the system is. I don't understand why we just can't have like a crafting per set. You're not supposed to place individual items anyway. The one thing that I will say that I like is that it allows you to use your base home ability. So I'm just currently using my house ability preset. I didn't need to double place this ability. It just looks differently depending I'm doing it here or in my house. So I appreciate that one. But I don't really, even though this is better than Hot Pot, I don't really appreciate the whole running business thing. I think it's confusing and convoluted and like entirely unnecessary. It doesn't bring joy to me, at least. And I don't feel like we need it. And the fact that you need to visit another player in order to like theirs as well, that's... it's not even like a housing thing where you can like just request to visit people on your friends list when they're not available. I would literally need to join somebody's live co-op session, presumably, in order to like their place, in order to collect all of the rewards. So I don't appreciate this part of the patch. I thought we can finish where we started. Despite the things that I don't like in this patch, I think this patch is like A- material at the very least. I think A- would be about the correct ranking for it. I enjoyed the minigames, I enjoyed the story is serious enough, the environment for the celebration is very pretty. It's not like 1.4, the Feywish Sprite celebration that we got that lasted full 36 days. So while I would appreciate if this patch lasted for longer than 23 days, it still isn't like gonna overstay its welcome at the very least. Like, it's not like we have a tiny patch, but then it lasts for friggin' forever. We have a tiny patch and it lasts for like a tiny amount of time. So while I do have my qualms about the new run to business things, and I just kind of want to grind them out and never touch them ever again, and I hate the whole like system, and there are some things that I have a problem with on the store, I think overall, if you don't like super engage with those features, this is just a pretty good patch as far as Infinity Nikki is concerned. Despite the whole deer debacle, the Pegasus outfit on the banner. It's pretty good. It is actually pretty good. The story's pretty good. The mini games are not very grindy, not very obstructive of your regular gameplay. They're sort of just there. We also even have a new dungeon, which I entirely forgot to mention. So let me get up. I don't know how permanent or temporary this one is. I am assuming that once this whole thing ends, it will become a Eureka dungeon. And actually, I don't know where this is taking me. I think you just enter it through here. Yeah, I think you just enter it through the dining hall, but I just noticed that I have a lore thing that I haven't picked up, so let me just quickly... Yeah, revisit the dungeon! It has like tiny little things to do, it has like challenge modes to do in it. Even the way that you kinda open it is fun, because you enter through here, of all things. So like, you have like a normal entryway and then you enter into this, and it has very much regular like Infinity Nikki feel, as in it's a 3-parter. It's pretty long. I don't want to do construction game. I want to pull my own stairs out. So it lasts for a while. It has a lot of platforming that you can do in it. The music in it is quite pleasant. I enjoyed it the first time around. There's like a couple of things, a couple of challenges in here that you can do. So I'm gonna enjoy that. I think it's very fitting for Infinity Nikki. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good patch. Thank you for listening for my very long and rambly review. I'm gonna try and make these shorter in general. Anyway, what is your opinion on the patch? You're free to disagree. You're free to tell me that this is a bad patch, but like, tell me why. Why is it bad for you? And I hope I'm gonna see you on my other videos, and also thank you so much for my Patreon supporters. Yeah! Toodaloo.